Last midweek game of the English Premier League season 2025-2026. Interesting fixtures, interesting results. Let's start with what we saw on Tuesday, where two teams that have been on a roll. Chelsea on a roll of wins, Manchester United on a roll of wins.
Yeah.
Finally decides to drop points. I don't know which is more foolish, coming back from last minute from a goal down against a low block team, or losing a 2-goal lead at home to a relegation threatening team. But first, let's start at Old Trafford. Is this reality check for Michael Carrick? He has been on a bounce. Everybody's saying, "Oh, everything is working well," even though there were issues. But when you win, all the issues disappear. For example, Fulham came from 2 goals down to 2-2 draw before they now got the result. If it ended 2-2 draw, I'm sure people would have talked about the issues. Like, how can Fulham come back? What happened? What went wrong? Well, Shesko came in with winning goal and suddenly there's no problem again. Carrick is at the wheel. But now, we are forced to start talking about the issues. What went wrong for Manchester United at the London Stadium?
Well, for United against West Ham United, I think one thing is he continued using the same starting 11. Yeah, it's not bad when you are using the same starting 11, but then at some point you might need to tweak things a little bit. And I think he needed to have tweaked things a little bit against West Ham United, because if you look at West Ham United, there is type of side that they sit back more.
I think West Ham was the first low block team that played. Fulham did not play low block. Tottenham Hotspur, until the red card, did not play ultra. Fulham was the first team that all 11 players behind the ball. That was how they played for most of the game.
So I think one thing is he needed to have tweaked things a little bit. Yeah, he wanted to. There's this saying that you don't change your winning team. So maybe he wanted to go with that. But then there are certain opponents that he said, okay, you know what? Let me just use a striker. He needed to use Sesko from the beginning.
Pointman, yeah.
He needed Sesko from the beginning, because at some point against West Ham United, it just felt like they were passing. Balls needed to.
There was no body at the end.
Yeah.
The defenders, Disasi and Mavropanos and the goalkeeper were just having a roll.
Yeah, so
because any cross that entered the 18-yard box did not have anybody on the end. To just go to the other side, just kept passing. The rotational 9 did not work.
Yeah, so that was what I feel he should have done before the start of the game. He should have noticed that, okay, let me play.
Nuno was never going to come and attack.
Yeah, that was the issue.
So did they analyze the opponent properly before the game?
I don't feel it just felt like, okay, since this false 9 has been working, it might work against the West Ham United, which I think he shouldn't have. He should have just gone with, okay, let me bring in Sesko. Because let's not forget, Sesko would have disturbed both Disasi and Mavropanos.
Yeah. I mean, we saw what happened when he actually brought in number 9. He brought in 2. First brought in Sesko, and we saw Zex's head, almost scored one, and then Sesko eventually got another. But then Tunde, stop it.
I'm just happy that at least as a Man U crew, at least there's a sign of serious questions.
No, but seriously now. Yes. Okay, fine. He should have analyzed the opponent better.
It's not as if he didn't analyze the opponent, because I'm not expecting him being a Manchester United that you want to play a Premier League match and not analyze your opponent.
But he didn't act as if he analyzed his opponent. If he did, maybe he should have brought in. Maybe he should have started a number 9 against a team like West Ham.
Prior to that match, when we were discussing, I also said something that playing in London Stadium would be a difficult match for Manchester United.
Yeah.
It's very obvious. You've played an attacking team for the past 4 games and you won it all. And as a matter of fact, I've been telling people, even during Amorim's era, though Amorim's might not be able to have those 4 wins, but Amorim doesn't really have much issue with an attacking side too. It's only with low blocks team. I remember there was a time during Amorim where you guys have 3 wins in a row, and then Manchester United wanted to play. I think Nottingham Forest, Tottenham, and Everton. And I was telling a United fan here on the camera that if Man should get 5 points from this game, then Man U is back. And he said Man U have 7. The guy said 7 at City Boy actually. And I think Man U ended up having just 2 points.
2 points, yeah.
So that problem has always been there for Manchester United, not even with a manager, because of the profile of players they have. You having Bruno Fernandes as your AMF. Those are the little things that will still be missing. You know, Bruno Fernandes is not really a player that can dictate game like the likes of Martin Odegaard. But it's a direct midfielder, very direct and forward. So are you playing a very, aside from a low block team, check the pitch now. The pitch is also small, so there's no space for you to just be giving those direct passes. There won't be so much space. So it's not as if, and if we are saying, okay, Kyle should have used a proper nine or used two strikers. Let's not forget that even during this Carrick era, Manu has considered a lot. So it will be a huge risk on his end to use a proper nine or use 2-9 at the detriment of the defense.
Yeah, but also now let's take a look at his decision making in game. I felt like at halftime, I already saw that Manchester United needed a point man. I was on a group where I kept saying point man, point man, point man, bring in a point man. The only goal that Manchester United scored before Gyökeres came in, before Šeško came in, was Casemiro coming in to come and head the cross. Yeah. So there was nobody on the end of crosses. I expected an halftime sub. Šeško did not come in until the 70th minute. If Carrick wants this job permanently, I feel like he will need to make his decisions bit faster than he did against West Ham.
Yeah, if you look at it, I think he should have been more proactive in the match against West Ham.
Halftime sub, Šeško should have come in.
I think he should have said that, okay, my team, they need a point man, and let's bring in Šeško. And I think he should have just done that at halftime, and that would have probably given United a little bit of edge.
Because at that time it was still goalless.
Yeah, at that time it was still goalless. So I just feel one thing is he needs to be more proactive when it comes to substitutions. I think one thing is substitutions, they can change, they can make or mar your the result of the entire result of your game. So one thing is for Michael Carrick, I just feel this is a learning curve for him. I feel the fact that he has been winning games, and that's kind of like masked some of the lapses in his game. But right now he dropped points against West Ham United, and I think we would have seen where he needs to actually change going into the next game. We also know that, okay, yeah, maybe no, it's not against all teams that this false nine works with. Maybe he needs to tweak tactics when it comes to playing against teams like Everton, Bournemouth. Maybe he needs to tweak tactics, and I'm sure maybe in the next game he might definitely tweak the tactics.
Okay, and yep.
You know, aside from false nine, I think what he needs to do again, as in addition to what Father said as a Manchester United manager, is to have a balanced team. We all know Man U is excellent in playing a counter-attack football. Man U are fast with that. I think it's time he needs to be training these guys on how to overload a low block opponent too. Yesterday, even though Man U were attacking, Man U were not overloading. They were not overloading them. Kobe Mano is still in his position as a CM. It's not as if there's
pushing forward.
Yes, it's only Casemiro that is making some rogue runs at times, not all the time. So I think they need to start working on how the likes of Arsenal, City, Liverpool, and even Chelsea used to overload that box, that edge of the box. Just overwhelm them. By the time you overwhelm your opponent, things like that, there will be either they make a mistake or goal will eventually come.
Okay, well, but then after this, Manchester United goes on about a 2 weeks break, so I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out and come up with something, because the next game they are playing, I think, will be against the Everton.
Everton.
Yeah, so Everton is ultra. I mean, this is Everton that in the first leg at Old Trafford, got a red card in the 5th minute and still found a way to block Manchester United from scoring for the rest of the game.
One of the most balanced small team in Premier League is Everton.
Exactly. So
they're attacking, they know how to attack.
But they are no block. Yeah. So whatever went wrong at the London Stadium, he must have fixed it by the time they are going to the new Everton.
Dixon Stadium.
Yeah. So Dixon said that they should have fixed it. Now let's talk about Chelsea. Losing a 2-goal lead against Leeds United. First, I noticed that whenever Liam Rosenau shakes things up, things usually go wrong. You remember the West Ham game where he played Napoli before and had Arsenal after, and decided, you know what, let me rest some players who played against Napoli for Arsenal. And it went wrong and he had to bring them back in order to come back. Again, I felt like one way or the other, he tried to rest players against Leeds United again. I don't know why. But then Achipong and Chalobah in the center of the defense couldn't have giving back to anything better. Also in the midfield, he wanted to bring in Enzo, and he still wanted to play Andre Santos and Caicedo, and at the end there was practically no winger. Even though they got the goals, but at the end, it's still, when it mattered most, it still affected them. So my point is, when does Liam Rosenau realize that at Chelsea, even though the names are there, Garnacho is there, GTZ is there, names that sounds good, but his options are limited. He needs to realize that his options are limited. The players that can deliver, even though there are so many names on the roster, but the players that can deliver are few.
Yeah, if you look at it as a new manager, one thing they're always saying is that when they get to a new club, a lot of players are on a clean slate as for a new manager. So I think he's probably looking to see if he can actually give all of them a clean slate. All of them can actually impress him, and then maybe see if he can actually getting the players that impress him very well and infuse them into his own starting level. And I think that's what he has been trying to do. And I don't think he has actually gotten that is his starting level fully. He's still looking to actually get more players. Maybe he can see if he can actually bring in more quality players into that starting level. But then I think it's someone that you overthink a lot. I mean, when you have a manager that he wants to try this, he wants to try this formation now. He wants to do this. You don't need to overthink things. You're playing against Leeds United. Okay,
at Stamford Bridge. So
Leeds United are a side that they are very physical. So why try to overthink? You know fully well. Wants to use a double pivot in the midfield where you can actually block them. Caicedo and Santos are actually players that are physical as well. So he was looking to block things, but then you are doing that at the detriment of another player in Enzo Fernandez. Yeah, Enzo can sometimes play on the left wing, but on the left wing, but that is not where Enzo functions very well. He functions mainly as an 8, coming into the receiving board and distributing passes. That's where Enzo functions very well. So moving Enzo to the left kind of limits his activities for Chelsea, and against Leeds United, I think we could actually see something like that.
Does he have to decide between Palmer and Enzo? Because it feels like he loves what both Caicedo and gives him the midfield, which means he can only play one person in front of them. You have to decide whether it's going to be Palmer or it's going to be Enzo, or he will move Palmer to the right, which I don't think he wants to do.
I think Chelsea problem, even right from Maresca's days, is still there. I don't know if there is anyone behind the scene of the administrative wing that is dictating who plays and who do not play. I don't know if
because there was that accusation
now
during the Maresca era.
Everybody was complaining that we don't know Maresca's 11. Royce is here. This is his 5th. This is like his 8th game.
8th game. We still don't know
his 11. So what was actually the problem? The one thing we just know about Royce now is that he's trying to use two CDM. That's just the only difference between him and Maresca. Noticed. Every other problem is still there. And there's something about synergy and cohesion in a team. Look at let's take Arsenal for an example. You can name at least 6 to 7 players that you are sure that if they are not injured, they will start. Even if Arsenal is playing in the Premier League, even if Arsenal is playing Wolves, which is at number 20, you know that these 6 or 7 players is going to start. But you can't name with Chelsea. You use Chalobah and Fofana today. You use Chalobah and Badiashile tomorrow. Use Badiashile and Adarabioyo.
Achipon, the last time was Achipon and
Chalobah. How do you create a cohesion? Everybody is shouting Saliba. Is it today? A relationship they've created for past 3 or 4 years ago. And that's that about central backs. It's like husband and wife relationship. You trust each other.
Village and Ferdinand, Carvalho and Terry.
Bonucci and Chelini.
I mean, they stayed long together.
Yes,
built that.
Even if you signed a better player than any of them individually, you won't want to break that relationship because it's normal. At some point during Chelsea and Terry and Kyle era, Chelsea signed Alex. And Alex was a very fantastic defender. Still, Alex finds it difficult to enter that 11 because the cohesion is there already between those 2 centre backs. So, and it's not even about the centre backs alone. So also your right back and your right winger, your left back and your left winger, so also your midfield trio. No, there should be a form of cohesion. Everybody should know where everybody is going to be. Look at the days of Busquets having Nesta. If Busquets should close his eyes, you know where Xavi is going to be, you know where Nesta is going to be. So now, you now trying to use different, and this is
today you use Pedroneto, no, you use Estava, you use
there can't be cohesion. There can't be cohesion.
You use Dilap today, you use Pedro tomorrow.
There can't be cohesion.
You've got to have a starting 11 and see. And of course, definitely we cannot end talking about this game without talking about that Palmer miss. Is that a miss for all season?
It's the miss of the century.
How about the selfish of the season, or the selfish play of the season that he played, like 4 against 2?
I think after that assist to João Pedro, he just decided he wants to be the one to get the other goals.
Like he had 2 instances. Even Estavo William too. There was a ball Estavo was supposed to give Cucurella that he kicked up.
But then that means.
That means.
I mean, I saw the Yakubu.
So that means you don't need to play it. Just don't run the ball. Don't enter the ball. All of you should
I saw the Yakubu.
I think that Yakubu one is worse because Yakubu was not in the center of the
Then
if a defender wanted to prevent that ball from entering the net, that's the perfect way. Because Palmer is an enter the net, but somehow the ball.
And one of the reasons why the Yakubu one is worse past this is that this Palmer one is like a bouncing ball. But that Yakubu one is a soft, the ball came soft, and it misses ball.
Learn to forgive Yakubu.
No, so I mentioned Yakubu, but that's for a profile like for a player like Palmer. I did mean it. Jackson, Darwin Núñez, people that we have known to be missing.
But then Kupama is not to be prolific.
No. That's a miss of the season. Actually.
Well, but then still for
Kupama, Caicedo that did their hero turned villain or villain turned hero. Because Caicedo caused that penalty, and that was a stupid act for an experienced player like him. And it was one that also created like a chance to have won that game for Palmer where Palmer missed. So and Palmer was even the one that created the goal. Palmer had 1 goal, 1 assist, and still have the miss of the century in that game at the same time. So what a dilemma for Chelsea fans.
Well, what a dilemma for Chelsea fans. Well, Manchester United had a chance to go 3rd, but they could have also been 5th. So I'm sure they'll be grateful to be 4th. And for Chelsea, well, Manchester United fans, thank them. Now because of that, they're still be 4th. But quickly, let's talk about the team that they had their backs against the wall, and somehow, some way, Captain Fantastic showed up. Liverpool away from home to the indefatigable Stadium of Light. But at the end of the day, Stadium of Light bowed to Captain Van Dijk. Liverpool, the first team to go to the Stadium of Light and defeat Sunderland.
That was an interesting game actually. Both teams played excellently, but at the end of the day, at times that's just the difference between big and small team. At times, because individual brilliance and let me say luck. That was a corner kick actually, and it was though it was a deflection anyways. But that defender, even if it was small, luck, would have not headed the ball out. But instead, he still converted the ball. That's just the difference between the big team and the small teams. And thankfully for Liverpool, at least I think the point between them and top 5 now is just a point now.
Yeah. But they're on 42 now. Manchester United is on 44. Chelsea is on 43.
So I'm talking about them and Chelsea 1 point, them and Man U 2 points.
So they are back in the top 4.
The competition there is now also solid. The competition over there is back. So Man U needs to be watching their back.
Chelsea needs
to be watching their back too and watching their front at the same time. So even Aston Villa, because I think the point between Aston Villa
and Manchester United,
I think Aston Villa just 5 points.
Is it 5 points?
Yes. Because they won their game.
I think they're on 50
Okay, they won their game because before they won their game, they were about
So everybody needs to be on their toes because starting games is still much. Let's be honest.
Because before this match day, it was 3 points. I remember when if Manchester United had beaten West Ham before yesterday, they would have gone 3rd.
So
1 goal difference.
And their goal difference is so bad for Aston Villa. So I think everybody just needs to be on their toes. Everybody over there. Needs to be on their
Now let's talk about everybody in the title race. Man City made it a bit more should I say frantic in getting that win over Fulham. I mean, we always knew we were going to be Fulham at Etihad.
They won 20 games against Fulham. So this is their longest winning streak against any team in the Premier League. So for Man City against Fulham, I think the only talking point has to be that Foden stamp on
Yes,
Calvin Bassey.
yes,
Bassey.
I
that's
think
true.
that was the only big talking point. And then Alan scored. So Alan is
But,
And
back.
okay, yeah.
and moreover, regarding the Calvin Bassey you mentioned, and I believe at times when you convert a left back to a centre back, there's still an iota of the discipline of a centre back that is always missing. The Semenyo goal should have been offside had it been Calvin Bassey was properly positioned as a centre back. He lost his concentration and he was caught there, and it was the one that kept Semenyo on in that goal. Look at when he was brought on against Manchester United too. Was one that make one rubbish tackle where Bruno Fernandes played on intelligence before he brings in the cross, things like that. Those are little details that matters. So I think he needs to up his game. He needs
And
to up
that's
his
one of the
positioning.
reasons why Srenka, what's his name?
Cuenca,
Cuenca is
Keeps
very
keeping
good.
him on the bench.
So everything is not physical speed and strength. At times, just use your brain, be at the right place at the right time. It matters a lot.
Someone said that from what we saw yesterday, that if Diaz and Gueye are fit and play together to the end of the season, that Arsenal may be in trouble. Is that true? Were they that solid yesterday? They were. But then, could Arsenal be in trouble if these two guys continue to play centre-back partnership for City? Because you know what they say, attack wins you games, defense most likely wins you titles.
Well, it all depends on if Arsenal slacks off. If Arsenal slacks off, maybe, and City takes their chances. But then Arsenal, they don't look like team that are slacking off right now.
And also to just answer to that question you just asked, being an Arsenal fan, and they've been rating us as the best defensive team in Europe for the past few years now. I don't think there's anything like the best defense. It's just the best team. Once your midfield is exposed, your defense will be exposed. Rodri was also solid yesterday. I've been talking about Rodri for the past few matches now. Rodri is back. We just need to accept this fact. Rodri is back and is back for he's in form now. He's back. So because yesterday, I think the only good outstanding chance they had was the one they had in the first half. Well, Smith Rowe gave the pass to Wilson and Wilson missed, and then they were exposed. So once your midfield is exposed, there's nothing. See, two defenders cannot mark for attackers. Only if the attackers are stupid.
And also playing O'Reilly, a defensive-minded player in the midfield. I think it has helped Rodri also.
Time, yes, playing even Bernardo is also defensive-minded. Let's be honest. You see Bernardo at times when Man City are blocking, you also see him there making those tackles, trying to get the ball, trying to keep the possession so that the pressure will be off the team and so on. So I think that midfield trial with arguably no MF. Let's be honest. When Bernardo said that we know him as an attacking player, attacking midfielder, and a winger, but at times when he's playing that role, most of the time he used to come to those. He used to play deep to collect pass and keep the possession, make sure the team is stable and everything. So, and I think that midfield trio has been solid and has been giving them the points they need. And moreover, it's also creating space. That's what Guardiola has done. And I believe this pattern is going to work for him for a long time before people start getting this pattern now. It's not overloading the halves again. It's playing it above them.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go. Those are some of our thoughts concerning what has happened during the week. So at the end of the day, well, even though there's still one game to go, but as it stands right about now, City won, Liverpool won, Manchester United drew, Chelsea
Villa won.
Villa won. Yeah. To those to whom it may concern, Villa also won. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to always subscribe to our YouTube channel, Global Lens Sports, and of course, also follow us on all our social media platforms at Global Lens Sports.